John Razimus here, just driving around, giving you an update to the new show coming soon. It's hands-free, GoPro, 100% safe. Many other shows employ the same technology. Jerry Seinfeld's Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. I'm just a non-comedian in a car getting an attachment at a Radio Shack. I bought a couple Korg Volcas for the new soundtrack for the new show. And here's a 3.5 millimeter, also known as a 1/8 stereo jack. And you can see the two lines on it. That means it is stereo. Then I have the 1/4, also known as 6.35 millimeter stereo jack. Two lines on it, meaning stereo. And unusually, the Volca, the Korg Volca models, I happen to have a Korg Volca bass and a Korg Volca Beats. Because Beats and bass is something that on a regular basis, my music doesn't always have beats and bass. When you got a micro Korg, you're missing beats and bass. Those are the two main things you're missing usually. You need something to give you some beat, some bass. And the Korg Volcas, the Korg Volca Beats, the Korg Volca Bass, the two are the ones that I have, and all the other Korg Volcas, they have a stereo 3.5 millimeter jack that somehow only works with mono at the other end. Very unusual. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I need to go get... Hopefully everything's safe in traffic today. I need to go get a stereo 3.5 millimeter to mono 6.35 millimeter. So a stereo 1/8 to a mono 1/4. And I need to grab two of those for my two Volcas. I'll grab two more if they're a good deal, because I have a couple other mono instruments that might need it. And I have a USB audio interface that doesn't work with USB, because Behringer, they advertise it as a 4-channel, and it's really a 2-channel with the USB. You unplug the USB, it's automatically an analog headphone jack 4-channel, which is what they advertised, but they advertised with USB. I thought I was getting USB quality, but really I'm getting headphone jack quality. Thanks a lot, Behringer, the German company that usually are pinpoint accurate, as Germans are cliche. The cliche is Germans are really good with engineering, but this particular unit is not very well made. Here we come up at a stoplight. Gonna have a tasty beverage. I am trying to lose weight legitimately, and I've cut it down to 1 soda a day. So that is my one singular soda for the day. The time is 12:35 p.m. A good time to have your singular soda for the day. You don't want to have it too late in the day, and you probably don't want it too early. Although an energy drink is useful in the morning. So back to, what was I talking about? The Korg Volca, the Behringer. Behringer makes a lot of audio equipment. I'm sure they hit it spot on whatever I haven't purchased. But the two Behringer pieces of equipment I happen to have picked up. The 4-channel USB audio interface is really just it's described as a 4-channel stereo, 4 stereo channel USB audio interface. but it's a 4 mono USB audio interface. You unplug the USB, and it is a 4 channel only with the headphone jack. And that's less than what I wanted. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a mixer. And I can get an 8 channel mixer as cheap as $50. There's a brand called Moon. I'm not too familiar with them, but they make a 8 channel mixer for $50. And that is half the cost of this Behringer 4 channel total catastrophe. But I'm going to have to deal with it. And it's not Behringer's fault that these Volcas happen to be mono, if you will. I'm going to the Radio Shack, a place I never go to. For all I know, it's closed. I went there about 6 months ago, and I looked for a battery for that LED panel I used. That must have been a year ago at this point. Okay, about a year ago, I went to the Radio Shack to get a tiny battery type, watch type battery, and it was like $5.99. It could have even been a 2-pack for $12.99. Then I went to the Walgreens. I suspected, Walgreens sells a lot of hearing aid batteries for the elderly, people with hearing disabilities. My sister happens to have hearing aids, so I was familiar with that. And I remember they did have watch batteries. I was like, I'll take a chance on Walgreens. And the Walgreens exact battery I needed was not in any 2-pack. It was in a singular pack on sale for it was like $129 or something. Some insanely low price. So Walgreens, a good place for watch batteries, small batteries. At another stop, light. There's a lot of technical parts to the new show. I'm wearing my Winchester Mystery House hat. I don't know if you can see it. I picked this up at the Winchester Mystery House gift shop. They don't sell on a shop online. You have to get it in person. This was the last hat. Flex fit, it totally fits. Supposedly inspired by the design of the house with a skull plopped on it. I think it's pretty cool. I picked it up, fits me perfect. I'm wearing my Winchester Mystery House t-shirt. I don't know if you can see that. And the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. Do some history, research that a little bit. Check out the Wikipedia page. It's a very interesting story. There's a new movie that came out. I'm doing a full review of the movie, a full review of the new tour. They have an expanded tour called the Explore More Tour. I'm doing a full review. I can't do it now because it's going to be in episode 1 of the new show. Episode 1 is going to be on ghosts, ghost hunting experiments, my corners of room ghost hunting experiments. If you saw my tweets, you saw my setup to a certain extent. I didn't show the set yet, or did I? I'm trying to keep some things so when you see the first episode of the new show, which I can't reveal the name to, you will be somewhat excited. You'll say, wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't know he was keeping back that. That's sort of interesting. I don't know what your responses are going to be like, but I'm holding this GoPro back with some masking tape. Hopefully it's not too shaky. First time experiment doing this. We will see what happens. Just wanted to show you, I am not a vampire. I do get up in the daytime occasionally. I'm going to the Radio Shack. I think there's 2 or 3 in town, so if this one is closed, let's hope it's still open. I can tell you I didn't give them my business last time because their helper guy was a little bit on the pushy side. He wasn't too bad. He was just eager because probably lack of customers. And I walked in and I said, I need a battery for this LED panel thing. And actually I didn't say that because I knew he wouldn't know what it was. It's an obscure LED panel. that I bought from China that is akin to the Jumbotron at a Lakers game. That Jumbotron is comprised of many different LED panels. And I bought one panel for the show a year ago, or maybe it was a year and a half. Time goes by really fast. And I knew he wouldn't know what it was. So I said, I just need a watch type battery, this D123, whatever it's called. And he was insistent over and over. What are you using it for? What are you using it for? After he asked me like 20 times, what am I using it for? I told him, it's for a LED panel from China. You're probably not too familiar. I'm not too familiar. I'm just here to get a battery that needs to be charged to turn the thing on. To panel some circuitry. And all they had was like a 2-pack or a 3 or a 4-pack, too expensive. So I'm actually almost at the Radio Shack. But this video is not going to end here. I'm gonna splice it together. My way back, my drive back, I'm gonna splice it together. So as I drive back home, I'll splice the home video. I don't know if this is gonna be a successful video or not. More the technical aspect of the show. But I could talk about the Winchester Mystery House a little bit. Look at the hat. There's lines on it. There are a lot of line type designs in the Winchester Mystery House. Sarah Winchester designed and asked her constructors, designers, or she's the main designer, but just the construction workers, I'm sure the guy in charge, she's like, I want this. She would draw on a napkin, she would draw on a piece of paper, she would always insist that it got thrown away. Oh my gosh. Well, lucky for you guys, that Radio Shack is actually out of business. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's lucky for you guys or unlucky for you guys, but we have not reached the destination. I suspected, I didn't buy last time. Haven't been there in a year, so 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, who knows at this point. But unusually, alright, obviously, there's the 99-cent store right there. And there's a Dairy Queen right there. And I lived in Washington for a short period of time. And I would go to the Dairy Queen for their burgers. This isn't a Reviewbrah review of burgers, but Reviewbrah has really good taste, Reviewbrah mentioned Del Taco having high quality products, higher quality than even Taco Bell. And I have to agree with Reviewbrah. The Taco Bell quality products, he mentioned the griller is pretty good. Their new fries are pretty good. The Baja Blast is really good. 100% agree with that. But in terms of freshness of the chicken soft tacos, there's no contest. Del Taco is tops. I'm going to go to a Del Taco, actually. Probably break my rule of 1 soda a day. But I haven't had food, and it's 12:44 p.m. I haven't had food all day. I'm pretty starving. I'm just going to get a decent Del Taco as inspired by Reviewbrah. I think he's a really cool channel. Report of the week. He gives his best. He's honest to a fault. There's a Taco Bell with a new design. Interesting. I've never seen a Taco Bell with only purple and white. So that Taco Bell recently changed their scheme. Purple and white. It's interesting. But I'm going to get a chicken soft taco, and Reviewbrah said you should get that, or at least he recommended that their burgers are really good. Now I was talking about Dairy Queen back there. When I was living in Washington, I would get once a week a Dairy Queen burger. Very high quality, at least at the Dairy Queen I ate at. But not all Dairy Queens have burgers. That Dairy Queen, and I think every single Dairy Queen in this particular city, is exclusively the Blizzard and the different ice cream variety. It's 100% ice cream only. Traffic is a little crazy. This guy is going really slow. I'm a safe driver. I never change lanes in an intersection. It's against the law. I'm letting this guy get in front of me. I try to be safe. There's a Wendy's. Wendy's are pretty high quality burgers. Speaking of high quality burgers, I really like Wendy's. I like their square burgers. The square high quality ground beef patty sticks out of that circular bun. Gives you an extra treat on the corners, you know. But the show, Winchester Mystery House. As we were in the grand ballroom, the tour guide said that the Imagineers at Disneyland drew great inspiration. They must have taken dozens of photographs, if not 1,000 photographs, and they, to a T, really designed the Haunted Mansion based off of the original Haunted Mansion, the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose. If you've never been there, take a tour. And I will do a full review, as I said in my last video. It is legitimately haunted by at least one spirit. I'm not going to say more than that because you have to watch episode 1 of the new show with the new intro, the new theme song. I'm going to Radio Shack to get, hopefully, a stereo 3.5 millimeter to mono 6.35 millimeter jack adapter. All for the theme song. And theme song hopefully won't be too elaborate. When you have too many tracks and layers and layers and layers, it reduces the quality. If you fine-tune it precisely, you know, Dr. Dre, he's really good at fine-tuning beats. And that's definitely not my specialty, but I got the Korg Volca Beats because it's not my specialty. And the Korg Volca Beats is very user-friendly. Press a couple buttons, couple dials. I played with it only for a few seconds. Probably I played with it for 30 minutes at most. Maybe 15 minutes. And I was able to produce a decent beat. A decent... I'm not going to use it. And I don't even know if the theme song is going to have a beat. But I suspect it will. I'm going to try to make something subtle. A subtle beat. It's definitely not going to be anything people will dance to. And it's not going to be overwhelmingly beat-centered. But it's nice to have that pace that you can keep up with for the keyboards to follow. So it's nice to have a beat. The second Radio Shack I know of is on the main street in this town, and it's, who knows, maybe 5 minutes away. We will see. Radio Shacks are really going out of business. For all I know, isn't the entire Radio Shack franchise out of business and I didn't know it? Am I driving to non-existent Radio Shacks? Am I driving to Radio Shack? Am I driving to that movie Short Circuit where they built that robot from Radio Shack parts? Am I driving into the Twilight Zone? Am I driving to simply ghosts, shadows of Radio Shacks left behind? I mean, I'm not going to Circuit City anytime soon, but I could have sworn there was at least one Radio Shack left in this town. Yikes. If this one's not here, I'm going to have to consider my options. But I know Best Buy doesn't specialize in stuff like this. I know Best Buy has a lot of cords. Speaking of cords, I used to work at Best Buy many, many years ago, over 10 years ago. I think it was just seasonally, just for the Christmas season. and I had an option to stay on board, but they literally paid me virtually nothing, and it wasn't the best. I had the graveyard shift, hard position. The day shift is always much friendlier and nicer in many different ways. But my brother worked there too, and he said, and maybe I overheard some employee when I was working there said, that the wires are highly marked up, and these headphone jack type adapters are going to be marked up along with the wires. So if there's a great sale on something, the wires are not going to be part of that sale. So Best Buy is not going to be the place you want to get cheap wires. You want to get expensive, highly marked up wires. In this video, I'm not going to edit anything. If someone tries to run me off the road, I'm leaving it in. Speaking of that, I was in San Francisco last weekend, and I went through Robin Williams Tunnel. Very cool. I never went through that tunnel when he was named Robin Williams Tunnel. So in other words, last time I went through that tunnel was before Robin Williams passed away. Rest in peace. Very talented comedian. Some people say he was possessed. Even he says he was possessed jokingly. It was mere banter. He wasn't legitimately saying he was legitimately possessed. As far as being possessed, I don't want to comment on that. I think he was a talented guy that had a very unique personality. And most definitely, unique personalities can mimic possessed-like behavior, most definitely. When you're in show business as long as Robin Williams was, you find your niche, you find your what draws people in, and you stick with it. And that's what he had. He knew other people couldn't do it very well. He became world famous for that. Being able to improv on the spot, be something funnier than most Hollywood writers could write given a lifetime. And there were so many improv lines in the Aladdin cartoon as Genie. Apparently there are like 1,000 hours of Robin Williams improving that character. Man, I wish Disney would release some of that, because that'd be amazing just to see, just to hear. So they literally had to change the script to meet Robin Williams' unlimited improvisations in the Aladdin cartoon, where he was geniusly the genie. So the new show, okay, the Disney Imagineers, they greatly ripped off, but they were allowed to. They were given permission. The Winchester Mystery House owners gave full permission to Disneyland, to Walt Disney himself, to be inspired by the Winchester Mystery House. And the main ballroom in the Winchester Mystery House greatly mirrors the room that stretches in the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland. Every year they dress up the Haunted Mansion, Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas style. I don't like it at all. I like the original ride, just as Walt Disney intended. And it's one of my favorite rides, but Pirates of the Caribbean has to be my number one favorite ride at Disneyland. I've never been to the Florida one. I really want to go to the Florida one. It's different. The Paris, France one is different. I really want to go to that one. There's a new ride in Shanghai, China, at Shanghai Disneyland. I really want to go to that one. I want to go to every single version of Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride. I'm a bigger fan of the ride than the movie. But the movie is inspired by Monkey Island, the video game, and by Stranger Tides, the book. Those are the two main inspirations for the script writer who wrote the script for the original Pirates of the Caribbean. What happened was he wrote a script for Monkey Island, the movie, believe it or not, the LucasArts, George Lucas video game from LucasArts. Phenomenal video game. Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge being the best game in the franchise. But 3 and 4 are playable. I beat Monkey Island 2, 3, and 4. And to be honest, I got the collector's edition of maybe 5 or a reboot. I beat the reboot as well. I'm a big fan of the Monkey Island franchise series, and I would have been so amazed to see a Monkey Island movie. Unfortunately, it was never made. The main pirate in the Monkey Island franchise is named Guybrush Threepwood. And Guybrush Threepwood is he's a funny character. He's clumsy, yet he's witty. He's funny. He's very smart, but usually in a Mr. Magoo style, accidentally smart type way. And that character was definitely adapted and changed into what we now know as Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow's original incarnation was Guybrush Threepwood, believe it or not, but also inspired by the novel, the book On Stranger Tides. And as you know, I think the 4th installation of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie was called On Stranger Tides, or was it the 3rd? I have watched the quadrilogy, or is it a 5 trilogy? I've seen every single one. Dead Men Tell No Tales being the final nail in the casket of that series. I thought Johnny Depp did a decent job throughout the entire movie franchise. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I believe. Wow, 5. Is it 5? That's a lot of movies. And I did dress up as Jack Sparrow one year. Jack Sparrow-inspired pirate. I was more of a generic pirate, that's right. So the Radio Shack is coming up around here. But the Winchester Mystery House, very, very interesting mansion. They say 160 or so rooms, but to be honest, there are a lot of tiny closet-type rooms that are counted as a full room. For example, there's a bathroom with one toilet, and when you close the door, I can't even imagine someone's legs fitting in that closet-sized bathroom. But technically, that closet-sized bathroom is considered a room. So, even though they boast 160 some odd rooms, some of the rooms are very tiny. Sarah Winchester was around 4 feet tall, a very petite woman, but very skilled in designing. It's a very, very cool house. Check it out for yourself. The movie, I can't do a review, I want to, on this fly, but I have to save that for episode 1. I know there's a Radio Shack around here somewhere. Here is my alarm. I don't know why I got my alarm going, but on the off chance I accidentally slept in, there's my alarm. Got some illegal jaywalkers breaking the law. Okay, this is where I remember the Radio Shack, close to the Super Target. Let's hope it's still here. If it's out of business, I'm kind of out of luck. Dang it. Drove around looking for a Radio Shack for nothing. Okay, we got a Pizza Hut, Subway, Mattress Firm. We got nothing. We got nothing. Dang it. You know what? I'm just going to go to that Del Taco that Reviewbrah highly recommended. And I've been to Del Taco many times, but it's not close to my house. It's very far from my house. So it's a treat to see the sights and taste the tastes of Del Taco. It's definitely not a prestigious establishment. It's just a side of the road General Del Taco, but their food is high quality. Their lettuce, the cheese, the flatbread, the corn tortilla, the flour tortilla. I'm passing the graveyard, which I greatly wanted to do a video in front of. Why I never did? You gotta understand, there's people walking, there's cars driving. I don't want to disrespect the dead. I really wanted to get the shot with a cameraman. And I'm gonna have to do a selfie along the road with thousands of people watching. I don't mind it online because I can't see you guys firsthand, so it's not too big a deal. You don't need very sturdy nerves of steel to be in front of a camera that's recording. Live, perhaps a little more nervy, but holding a camera, selfieing, talking to it as you're walking past a graveyard. And I wish I could show you the graveyard, but I don't want to take off the masking tape. Man, I wish I knew where that Del Taco was. Luckily, we're headed in the direction of the Del Taco. It's 1:02 p.m. My alarm was set for 1 p.m. This is probably an extremely, unbearingly boring video. I greatly apologize for that. But it's my first time testing out this car thing. Starbuck Design. It's an unusual name for a design company. If you're gonna have a design company, maybe don't call it McDonald's Design or Del Taco Design. It might confuse people. I guarantee people Google Mapsing Starbucks probably see Starbuck Design pop up, and they're not looking for Starbuck Design. They're looking for Starbucks, but yeah, it's no big deal. So this is going into the downtown a little bit downtown, not fully downtown, not skyscraper downtown, but people cutting in front of you downtown. So someone just cut in front of me, no big deal. All right. I'm not going to mention the names of the streets. You can figure them out on your own, perhaps. But, okay, I'll try to be more interesting. Winchester Mystery House, definitely haunted. How do I know it's haunted? Oh my gosh, how do I know it's haunted? That's a good question. I have the ability to distinguish and detect spirits. They know I have it, I know I have it. The only way they wouldn't know I have it is if they're not familiar with me. And perhaps it was safest to never mention it. I didn't mention it for a good 20 years. If that, let me think. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Shoot, I probably never mentioned it until I was 25 years old. And if that, it would have been only the closest of family members. And even that, they probably would have been not too understanding, but accepting and believing to a certain extent. Everyone's different, and people believe and people disbelieve. And even in my family, some believe, some disbelieve. Or some care and some simply don't care. Okay, I know this Del Taco is very close. Might be one street off. So, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take a right here. I'm taking a right here. Totally impromptu right, but it's a safe right. It was a totally safe, legal right. I remember being one street off from that street. We might be forced to go downtown. You might be able to witness the skyscrapers. I didn't want to go downtown, but looks like that's going to be the case. So I have the ability to discern spirits, see spirits? No. Discern them? Yes. Discern doesn't always mean with your eyeballs. I can discern without my eyeballs. I discern with the sixth sense. And I happen to be passing 6th Street, even as I say that, going through this tunnel, the smallest tunnel known to man. Here we go. All right. We are downtown. I didn't mean to do this. It's a total accident. But I know the Del Taco is hard to get to from that main road. A lot of one-ways. I don't like navigating all these one-ways downtown. Need to find a left turn ability. It's only one way. What city am I in right now? You figure that out on your own. I'm sure you can figure it out. It's not going to be too complicated. Pennington. The street's called Pennington. I'm going to turn on Pennington. And it's going to be nothing but one way after maze and zigzag after maze. But I remember one up was Del Taco. It's just one up and a couple blocks down. I turned a couple blocks too early, too soon. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Cafe Poca Casa. Sounds fancy. Okay, let's try to get out of this mess. Okay, it's a green light. It's a green light. We just got to get out of this mess. Okay. I think we got out of it. Not much more in terms of being stuck downtown. Left turn only. It's not good. Maynard's Kitchen. Maynard. Where have I heard that name before? Lead singer of some band or something? Okay. Is it Broadway? I think it might be Broadway. Dang it. People crossing. We got like a Amtrak thing going on. We got one ways all over the place. So the ability to distinguish a spirit in a room is an ability that some have. I'm not the only one. I would say if I have it, and I've heard a couple people have it here and there, I've literally probably heard 100 other people having it. And those are the people that probably have broadcasted on the internet or TV or not movies, but perhaps like a paranormal TV show. Now, not everyone on a ghost hunting crew is going to have the ability. I would say slim to none are going to have it. But occasionally you see on the Travel Channel, Ghost Hunting International or something. I don't know what show it is. I think it's a UK show. I think it's a British ghost hunting show, so I'm not too familiar with it, but I think one of the guys claims to be psychic. I don't know if he's psychic or not. That's the thing about being psychic. On a case-by-case basis, you can almost call them out, unless they make a prediction that's clearly incorrect. But, for example, the Winchester Mystery House, I know there's a spirit there, period. I know it feels creepy, so it's a demon, straight up. I'm not going to say any more than that. But I did finish the Ghost Adventures episode. I'm not going to reveal because that goes into the total review and episode. Yes. Sorry, guy, I just got to turn right. The Del Taco! Oh, gosh, we found it. I found the Del Taco. It's right next to a Office Max in the middle of nowhere. So the video is going to have to go to a screeching halt, unless you want to see me order my meal. So I'm going to be making a cut here, unless you want to hear me order my meal. And then I will eat the food, and then I will drive back home, or maybe we shall see what happens. And the drive-thru for Del Taco. Well, it looks good. They got some delicious avocados displayed on a carne asada wet burrito. That looks really good. Chicken verde wet burrito, 2 street tacos, 2 beer battered fish tacos. Ugh. No thanks. But Reviewbrah recommends their cheeseburgers, so I'm gonna see what I can get individually. I like their curly fry, crunchy fries, or their zigzag fries, whatever you want to call them. Their cheeseburger looks good. I know their soft tacos are good. Let's see what they got.
Alright, and I put the receipt in there.
Okay, so it's all in here?
Yeah, the burger, 2 tacos, and
Okay, thank you.
the receipt.
Thanks. Okay, you know what? Let's just do a Reviewbrah let's just rip off. Nah, I'm a huge fan of Reviewbrah. I've only watched a dozen of his videos, to be honest, because they're quite lengthy, but they're high quality. His commentary is unlike any other on YouTube. Someone will say, I don't like this, doesn't taste so good. Reviewbrah will really eloquently describe to the most minute detail why it doesn't taste good, or why it tastes superb, and why you should seek it out above its competitor. And that's what makes Reviewbrah Report of the Week, the Report of the Week. That's what makes him unique and stick out, and that's why he has genuinely worked so hard to build his fan base, grow his fan base, and he deserves all the credit. And I did see the CNN piece about him. It's a few years old, but he deserves that credit. He worked hard. He did a good job. 100% props to him. So BG Cumbie, he's a comedian, member of the meme crew, and BG Cumbie tried to say he's sick of Reviewbrah. Sorry, BG Cumbie, no one is sick of Reviewbrah. No matter what video I randomly click on, whether it's a meme or it's his actual 2-hour live stream, or even if he's doing a tweet and you click on it and it has him live on shortwave radio, he does a radio show, whether he's reviewing Taco Bell's new fries, whatever the case may be, he is spot on. I would say most of the time, if not all the time. Very high quality content. I gotta find a place to eat this food. And I will be doing, perhaps, an Inspired by Reviewbrah, never again, a one-time event, Del Taco review of both the burger and the chicken soft tacos and the fries and the soda. The soda is just as good as you can get Barks soda. One of my favorite root beers, Barks, the one with bite. And that bite just happens to be that bite just happens to be caffeine. So that's why I had the caffeinated beverage earlier. I woke up a couple hours ago, pretty late, kind of on a Reviewbrah type schedule. And I need something to boost me up. I think I turned right on the wrong turn. Let's get back. When you're recording a video and talking, it's very easy to go down the wrong road. I'm just looking for a place to park so I can do a review. Hopefully the audio is good. I know I'm blasting the AC, but I'll turn it to number 2. Maybe for higher quality eating purposes. I don't know if people want to watch me eat, you know. I don't think I'm a sloppy eater, but watching someone eat, it can be unusual. In fact, I had that thought the other day. People sit at a restaurant watching each other eat. Just that concept is a little unusual, you know. I could see an alien civilization that perhaps doesn't have restaurants where you can eat inside of them, because perhaps in their culture it's so disgusting to watch someone eat that they eat in private. So they do have fast food. This is a particularly spread out city. It's a pretty big city, if you can notice. I can drive for hours and hours and not reach the ends of this city. It's a particularly big one, spread out. The population isn't Los Angeles or anything like that. But, yeah, it's a pretty big city. I probably passed 4 Jack-in-the-Boxes, and here's another one already. Someone from Alaska is in front. I guess they are as they call, a snowbird. To get away from the snow, they come here to the desert. So not everyone has the ability to distinguish spirits. It doesn't mean the ability doesn't exist. Trust me, the ability does exist. I have it. I don't brag about it. I might only have a little bit of it. But I have noticed I might have a little more than a few other who claim or say they have it. And what I was saying was you can't really prove it except on a case-by-case basis. For example, prove another psychic is what I'm talking about. As far as proving to science, throw that out the window. I don't think I can prove to science. If science can't prove ghosts exist, how are they going to prove someone that can detect ghosts exists? You know what I'm saying? Okay. So for example, I know for a fact there's one creepy feeling spirit, negative in my opinion, most definitely creepy equals negative, at the Winchester Mystery House. Maybe more, but I was only able to distinguish one with my detecting abilities. And my detecting abilities is automatic. I can't turn it off, I can't turn it on. It always is what it is. So it's a very uncontrollable ability. But is it focusable? Yes, I think it is focusable. Because to be honest, that's the second time I've been at the Winchester Mystery House. The first time I was a kid. I didn't know I had the ability. I didn't know I could focus it. By focusing it, I mean, quite frankly, simply acknowledging it exists and really paying close attention to it. That's all I mean by focusing. I don't mean like focusing it as a beam and shooting it like a superhero. I just mean being calm in a quiet room, meditating to a certain extent, like micro meditation. So through micro meditation, I can at least sense it, focus it, and really enhance it. Because as a child, I think I had it, but I didn't know I had it. So I went to the Winchester Mystery House as a kid, and I didn't notice anything because I didn't know I had it. And if I noticed anything, I would have been too distracted by the tour guide. When I was a kid, they opened up the door, the Winchester Mystery House, a door that fell off like 2 stories, or maybe 1 story. It just fell into nothing. And they didn't show that on the tour I just went on last weekend. They didn't show the door that falls off the cliff off the house, because perhaps someone opened it one day and they're like, whoa, we don't want a lawsuit. Someone can die. So it's probably a locked door, tightly locked. So any straying tourists don't accidentally fall off, because Sarah Winchester designed that door for the spirits. She designed many doors, many cabinets, exclusively for the spirits. You know it's for the spirits when it doesn't lead anywhere, when it doesn't go anywhere, when the steps lead up to nothing. I'm passing a Wendy's and a What a Burger. What a burger. What a burger. What a burger. And I've noticed locally, and I'm not making fun of anybody, it just happens to be a local thing. Perhaps it's widespread, but I've only noticed it locally. What a burger. What a burger. The locals call it water burger. Literally the word water and then the word burger. Water burger. And the first time I caught that, I was like, whoa. Some guy was saying, oh, the water burger got robbed like a year ago. And I was like, the what? The water burger. I'm like, well, wait, hold on. The water burger? He's like, yeah. I was like, what's that? He's like, oh, the water burger. I was like, oh, what a burger. He's like, huh? Whew. So when I heard that, I corrected him. I told him it was what a burger, not water burger. But I politely said it. And he's like, oh, okay. And then I hear a radio commercial for What a Burger. Local radio commercial. Check out Waterburger today. Waterburger, delicious burgers. Waterburger. Literally, no joke. The local commercial for What a Burger said Waterburger. I'm 100% dead serious. And then, if that's not all, I saw a commercial on TV which looks like a nationally syndicated, nationally broadcasted commercial on TV. All right. I'm going to park here in front of the Big Five. Not too many people to bother me here, hopefully. I've noticed one thing, that if you park in a parking lot that's very empty and there's no one there, many a time someone's going to park right next to you, hoping to start a tailgate party. I'm not starting a tailgate party, thank you very much, but trust me, the youth, sometimes that's all they have is they park in a parking lot next to each other. They start some type of, I don't know if it's a Pokemon Go party or what, but this is even before Pokemon Go existed. They've been doing this for many years, I'm sure. Hope nobody parks next to me. Anyway, the locally broadcasted and nationally broadcasted What a Burger commercial featured a guy who's simply an actor. I don't know if he's reading the script properly or if he was directed to say Waterburger, but he said on the nationally broadcasted commercial, check out Waterburger today. Waterburger, Waterburger. I don't remember the exact line, but it included the word water and it included the word burger right next to each other. Waterburger. And I tweeted What a Burger. I said, hey, What a Burger, at What a Burger, or whatever their Twitter is. It's probably at What a Burger. I said, hey, so I listened to your radio. I think I just mentioned the TV commercial because it's more of a pressing issue. I said, hey, What a Burger. Your commercial says Waterburger. It doesn't say What a Burger. And then the next time I saw that commercial, zero response from Whataburger. The next time I saw that commercial, it was edited to be a little bit shorter. and they cut out where the guy says Whataburger. They cut it out. They cut it out. So trust me, you can make an impact in this world, and hopefully more and future Whataburger commercials will not say Whataburger in them. But pay attention to that. I'm now probably not going to eat half of this, but I will try a couple French fries. I said no ketchup because their fries are so high quality. That they don't need ketchup. Although, when they're salted a little bit more than this, they're a little bit better. I've noticed a lot of eateries are lacking salt on their French fries, but I need to cut out French fries. I'm on a diet and I'm eating freaking French fries. I know. I'm on a diet, I say at the beginning of the video. At the end of the video, I'm pigging out. But I like the tiny soft tacos that they have. I like the microscopic size because guess what, Taco Bell? Del Taco soft tacos are higher quality than yours. Despite their minuscule size, these are good tacos. It might not even just be exclusively the freshness. Although these are definitely fresh. They have a Del Taco signature spice in with the chicken. That's phenomenal. It tastes authentic. It tastes authentically Mexican. When you go to a really authentic Mexican restaurant and you order the carne asada, they're going to have spices mixed in with that meat. This is chicken, of course. Pollo. I can't speak too many Spanish words, obviously, but much more authentic taste than Taco Bell. So I agree 100% with the report of the week. And in no way, shape, or form am I going to start doing a review video, a review series of reviewing food. That's not my thing. I don't do that. I don't think people even want to watch me eat. If this video views even gets to this part before people stop watching, I will be extremely surprised. I don't know how many minutes we're in. Of course, people got to be staring at me, so I'm not too used to it. I know Reviewbrah doesn't like people just staring at him. He did a video in the mall where he said people try to take sneak shots of him. Like some blurry shot without his permission. And Reviewbrah said, just walk up to me and ask. I'll take a selfie with you. But he didn't like the uncomfortable, sketchy, sneaky shots people take of him when he's at the mall or something. I fully understand, except for I'm not Reviewbrah status, and I do hope this show does increase in viewership and fan base, get to the fame level of sneak shots at the mall. I don't think anyone really wants that part of success of people taking sneak shots. People don't recognize me. I'm definitely not famous publicly walking around. Nobody recognizes me. Trust me. I think I wore my Hoax Hunter shirt once in public. Nobody recognized it. And it felt kind of like Keemstar wearing a Drama Alert t-shirt in public. But speaking of t-shirts being awkwardly worn in public, I'm creating a Teespring where you can awkwardly wear my t-shirt designs in public. Let me redo that. I'm launching a Teespring. I'm going to have at least 6 designs. Different Hoax Hunter designs, different Occult Unmasked designs, and different designs of the new show coming soon. I think the new show is going to be the most popular, so stay tuned for that. My Teespring, I did sign up, but there's nothing there. It's blank. I will share the link as soon as there is a single t-shirt. I've already designed 2 Hoax Hunter t-shirts, and I designed the Occult Unmasked logo. The second they're ready to be on the Teespring, I'll let you know. I'll tweet about it 10 times. I will make an entire video showcasing it. This channel doesn't do too well with AdSense, if you will. Hopefully Teespring is a nice alternative where I can hopefully generate some revenue. But let's test out this burger. The Del Taco Burger, as requested, as given a good review by the report of the week, Reviewbrah. As soon as this car pulls out, someone just ate at this local restaurant called Brothers, of all things. So it's like a Chinese restaurant called Brothers. Not too familiar with it. I've never eaten there. Interesting name for a Chinese restaurant to be called Brothers. Okay. So I've unwrapped it. Here it is. This is the Del Taco cheeseburger. All right. Well, this particular establishment probably doesn't sell too many burgers, understandably. As Reviewbrah said, they don't specialize in burgers. Only the one-off guy's even going to order a burger. It's a good burger, but the bread is a little stale. Now, the bread being a little bit stale is evidence that someone didn't seal the bread properly, or it's the freshest bread they have, which isn't particularly extremely fresh. It's edible. It's just a slight staleness to the bread throws off the entire burger. It's very slight. It's not a big deal. And it's only at that particular establishment. Perhaps not at any of the other ones. I can't eloquently give a review like Reviewbrah does. I like their sauce. This happens to be particularly a very interesting parking lot where people just can't not stare at me. And I gotta get out of here, I'm going crazy. No, I'm not. I like the burger sauce. I'll tell you what it tastes like. It's definitely mayo and ketchup mixed. It's just fry sauce. Mayo and ketchup makes for a really good burger sauce. Yeah, it does. I was first introduced to fry sauce only a couple years ago. Mayo and ketchup. So I'm pretty new to it, and I didn't like it the first time I had it. I was like, what is this? But it's grown on me. I kind of like it now. Interesting fact. Riffraff, the rapper, became YouTube famous when he started rapping along songs in his car. Kind of like this, but playing songs on the radio. And he could rap along to any of them really well, and they became viral. But Riffraff deleted every single one of those videos, or maybe his old channel got banned. Something happened where all those videos disappeared. I know Riffraff went through like a resurgence where he started going by Jody High Roller. He had to start a new Twitter because his old Twitter got hacked. It really didn't get hacked. I think he gave the password to someone who was probably supposed to maintain it, and maybe a falling out caused them to delete all of his followers or something like that. But now he has over 1 million followers on his Jody High Roller Twitter. I follow Jody High Roller Riffraff because he's a funny guy. He's a very, very talented rapper, and he's a very, very on-point comedian. Riffraff's legitimately a funny guy. His tweets sometimes, we're talking comedy stand-up gold. We're talking, if a stand-up comedian said that exact same line, they'd be hailed as one of the funniest comedians of all time. Riffraff is that intelligent of comedic writer, I think. With that being said, he's a serious rapper. He's a legitimate rapper. He can rap and freestyle as good as the best of them, because he is the best of them, in my opinion. I probably mentioned this 100 times, but I did create Riffraff's Wikipedia page. If you go to the history or the about or whatever the details history of Riffraff's Wikipedia page, I created it. And it has a name you may have not heard before. But if you go to the twitter.com/that name, that's mine. So I'm looking for an audio store and this bookstore. I'm almost positive it's on this road. And there's this guy in a red Mustang that's kind of shadowing me. I don't think he's following me. Perhaps he saw the GoPro camera. It's angled not to be showing other people, but perhaps he saw it. Okay. The bookstore I'm going to is up pretty close after this red light, I think. So I might be turning off the stream and saying farewell pretty soon. I will film driving home, but if it's boring, I'll just cut it out and hit the cutting room floor. I think even 90% of this video is probably unwatchable. I'm going to do some walking and some filming today. I do legitimately try to lose weight, but I need to do some more walking. The bookstore is coming up around here somewhere. It's a used bookstore that happens to also sell guitar effects pedals and musical equipment. I doubt they're going to have 1/4 to 1/8 jacks, let alone mono, but the new show is going to have some ambient music. And here it is, this bookstore. And I did purchase a pedal here, a delay pedal, for a good price. So it's worth checking out to see if they have any other cool effects pedals with good sound effects I can add to my keyboards. So until next time, this has been John Razimus with youtube.com/hoaxhunter. The new show is coming soon. I apologize for the extreme boringness, but it's 100% inspired by Reviewbrah. He's the reason for the review. Parking next to some motorcycles, not the easiest task. You don't want to damage someone's nice motorcycle. Okay, so I just got back from this bookstore that does sell instruments. I purchased the Boss BX800. It has, has 8 channels. So I'm going to be able to record 8 instruments at once if it works. There's a 7-day return policy. So I'll be testing it out for 7 days, yeah. And of course, people just want to stand in the middle of the road while I'm trying to drive. All because a camera might be involved. I don't know, maybe they just do that on a regular basis. We shall see. But I'm going to film the way back home on the boring car drive. Yes, I live in a big city. Or do I? Maybe I'm just visiting. So detecting spirits is legitimate. I don't know if I finished that story. For example, if someone claims they're psychic and they're the #1 psychic on the planet Earth, a lot of these psychics, they go out of their way to really exaggerate. Let's say they go to the Winchester Mystery House, where I just was at last weekend. Let's say they walk through the whole thing and they say, nope, no ghosts here. Nothing. I'll know that there's a chance that they're not psychic or they don't have detecting abilities because there is a spirit there. But could that spirit sneak around a psychic attempting to detect them? Most definitely. On top of that, let me give you another scenario. Let's say a psychic goes to the Winchester Mystery House and says, yeah, it's a guy who died from Winchester gunshots 150 years ago, and his name is Timmy, and then they get the last name. Let's say they get the last name Timmy H. Timmy H died from Winchester mystery, just a Winchester shotgun to the cranium, or whatever the case may be. And they give an elaborate backstory on how it's most definitely Timmy's ghost. I'll know for a fact they're probably not psychic, because that's not how it works. But negative entities do mimic and mock humans and fool humans by disguising themselves as dead humans. Trust me, this fictional character I just created, Timmy H., who died from a Winchester gunshot to the cranium, he's not haunting the Winchester Mystery House for 150 years straight. And if he was haunting the Winchester Mystery House for 150 years straight, Timmy H., who's a totally fictional character I just created for illustrative example purposes only, he would be in living hell, or non-living hell. He would be in a hellish situation if he was forced to haunt, or perhaps even of his own free will, it would still be a hellish situation. It'd be a hell type of situation. Congratulations, you're dead from a gunshot wound. Now you're going to haunt this house for infinity, for the next 100,000 years, until the house burns down to the ground, and then you're going to haunt what, the plot of land? Speaking of which, I read an article recently where a famously poltergeist-haunted location was burned down to the ground. It wasn't famous to me, I never heard of it, but to locals it was, I guess, famous. And maybe I'll try to drudge up that article and read it for you guys in the future, but here's the gist of the article. Oh, what's going to happen to the poor poltergeist ghost what's going to happen to this ghost that moved objects in this house? The house burned down. Oh my God, what? It's like they didn't even care about the house burning down. All they cared about was a demonic entity that played trickster games on humans that entered the house. Some people disagree that poltergeists are not demons, but to those people, please show me your evidence otherwise. Not in a book being dogma. My evidence is not based on a book. It's not based on dogma. It's based on first-hand experience. And I am open to other people's perspectives. Feel free to share your non-dogmatic examples of a poltergeist being a positive thing. Now, even if a poltergeist pretends to be your dead great-grandmother just watching over the family, she doesn't need to move objects to do so. All right? And she's not going to have that ability, in my opinion. Because in my opinion, spirits of humans go to such a high dimension. They're so detached from the mortal realm. Why are they detached? You can throw philosophy into this and it just goes into religion. That's why I don't want to discuss it in great detail. But like that fictional character, the Winchester Mystery House, he would be in hell if he was stuck haunting the place for 150 years straight. You know, I detected a ghost, a spirit, if you will, at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. And immediately I didn't want it to follow me home. I didn't want it to know that I'd noticed it. It walked straight through me. When a spirit walks straight through me, that's a full-blown, "Hi, how's it going? Can you detect me?" Or let's see what this guy's about. I have many theories, and obviously it's such an obscure, taboo subject in science that science will never touch it with a 50,000-foot pole, but when a ghost walks through you, unless you have the detecting ability like I have, you're not going to notice. So whether you know it or not, thousands of ghosts or hundreds of ghosts have already walked through you on a regular basis. You didn't notice it because you don't have the detecting ability that I have. Many other people have it, and I was talking in the last video how many. I don't know. I mean, there could be 100,000 people worldwide. Could be 1% of the population, 10%, 20%, maybe 90% of the 20% don't hone it or don't acknowledge it. If you're a full-blown atheist and you have the ability, you're going to suppress it. You're going to drink it away, perhaps, or maybe you're just going to be Scrooge from that Christmas story and say, "Oh, it's just some bad food I ate yesterday." It's not bad food I ate yesterday. I've had this ability for my entire life, but it definitely has grown. When I was a little kid, I probably had it, but it wasn't as strong as it is now. So it's definitely grown. It's kind of like a Jedi training of the spiritual ability given to you. I'm just glad I can't see them. I can only sense them. So I was at the OK Corral, and my first thought was, don't let this thing know it can sense you, or you can sense it. I don't want it following me home. I don't want it following me home. When you have this ability, you're going to have thoughts like that. Trust me. As crazy as that thought sounds, that's a logical thought. That thought comes straight from perhaps inspired by the movie Ghost, starring Whoopi Goldberg and Demi Moore, and rest in peace, Patrick Swayze, who plays the ghost. One of the first things legitimate psychic Whoopi Goldberg does is she doesn't want ghosts to know she has this ability. She kind of plays a fake psychic in the movie, but she has real psychic abilities. So she kind of plays both cards. She's both a fake and a real psychic. She prefers the fake psychicness because the real psychicness involves her having the ability to be bothered by ghosts all night long while she's trying to sleep. Patrick Swayze, the ghost, keeps her up all night until she does contact his loved one, played by Demi Moore. So I definitely don't want these entities following me home. But I detected one at the OK Corral. And the first thought was, I don't want it following me home. I don't want it knowing I know. My second thought was, it's probably not any of the guys that died here, because no one's going to be hanging out at the place they died for 100 years straight, or 150 years straight, or 200 years at this point. I don't know. Look it up on Wikipedia. You will see the exact dates of the people that were killed at the OK Corral. But they're not hanging out there for 100 years straight, 200 years straight. They're not going to do it. It would be a hellish experience for them to watch tourist after tourist gawk at, take photographs at the site they were murdered. How would that in any way, shape, or form bring them peace or closure? It wouldn't. Likewise, being stuck at the Winchester Mystery House, if you're a Winchester rifle victim, it'd be a hellish experience. It would not bring closure or peace. It'd probably bring the exact opposite. But I read an article where the poltergeist was being mourned by the ignorant author of this article. Oh, rest in peace, poltergeist ghost. Your house is burned down. It's like, what? I laughed throughout the whole article. It was wrong on so many levels. But, yeah. I have many theories, and unprovable, of course, but I'm writing about them in my book, Corners of Rooms. I might have to take a 3-month video vacation when I really finish up the book, because writing one chapter, I rewrite it and rewrite it and rewrite it, and I've rewritten the same story a couple times to the point where I'm kind of cutting and pasting what chapter it should fall into, what category it should fall into. Detecting spirits is definitely going to be a chapter. Corners of Rooms is the main theme of the entire book. It's a legitimate phenomena. If you check my Twitter, you would see my setup of my ghost hunting devices. I will conduct that experiment very soon. It is 2:29 p.m. I'm driving home. I was unable to find my mono jack adapter, 3.5 millimeter to 6.35 millimeter, 1/8 to 1/4, but maybe I have to order it online. I can't order it from China. It has to be here for the theme song for the new show within the next week. That's why I wanted to drive to a Radio Shack. Apparently every single Radio Shack in town has been closed down. I did hear something about them going out of business a couple years ago. and then maybe someone bought them. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, every single Radio Shack in town seems to have been closed down. And I never go to Radio Shack except for tiny, tiny, tiny things like that. And so I might have to go to Walmart, but I already went to Walmart. Walmart doesn't specialize in tiny stuff like that. I mean, it's like the type of thing that you might see at the dollar store, or you might not. I'm talking about something like this, where I talked about in the last video. So, Del Taco. It's a pretty good restaurant. I recommend it. The burgers might not have the freshest buns in the world, but their soft chicken tacos are delicious. That's what I recommend the most. The spice, the chicken, very good. This is me just driving home. As you can see, I got the Boss 8-channel mixer, dirt cheap. I paid $50 for it, 50. 7-day return policy. I'm gonna play with it for the next 3 days. If it works, I'm keeping it. If it doesn't work, I'm returning it. But I like the fact that the channel outlets, plugs, they appear to be singular 1/4 jack stereo, and that's exactly what I was looking for. I was exactly looking for this mixer. Not too complicated, not too simple. 8-channel, I want to have 8 instruments going at the same time. Just go to YouTube, search the different Korg Moog. One day, if I'm rich, I'll get a couple Moogs. Moogs are extremely, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. Is it Moog? Moog? See, it's such a classy brand, I can't even pronounce it, but Moog synthesizers are off the wall, too expensive. Can't afford it. Can't even afford to pronounce it correctly. But Korg, I can afford here and there. So I got a couple Korgs, gonna hook them up to this channel mixer. Korg Volcas, I got the Korg Volca Beats, the Korg Volca Bass. Gonna hook it up to the Micro Korg XL, the Korg MS-20, the Korg Monologue perhaps. We shall see. Crank out some amazing theme song for the new show. This poltergeist, I was haunting a house, and I'll have to find the article and talk about it in a future video, because I thought it was an interesting subject. I have a Google alerts for poltergeist, because I was authentically harassed by a poltergeist for 6 months. It was a demon, it was not a human spirit. It was a demon spirit, a non-human spirit. Totally different entity. Demon spirit from human spirit. I understand some cultures think humans can turn into demon spirits. Even Buddhist beliefs here and there mention that. And as much as I respect Buddhism, my grandfather was Buddhist, and I actually believe in a lot of Buddhist principles. That's one I do not believe. I do not think humans can turn into demons. So even the worst guy in the world who participated in a horrendous massacre, that person's going somewhere, but they're not turning into a negative entity, demonic entities, negative. They're already going to be a negative spirit, but they're going to be a negative human spirit. They're not going to be a demon.